Hi, everybody. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about showing up for yourself. You are the one person that you can really count on. You can count on yourself, but we don't normally realize that we can count on ourselves. We often think we have to rely on other people to show us our value or to console us when things are not going great, or that if we have a success, we need someone else to celebrate it with us or else we aren't valid, and a whole host of things like that. And I feel it's really important to learn how to show up for yourself, how to be there for yourself in times of distress, in times of joy, in times of accomplishment, and all those things. Oftentimes, when we accomplish something, we don't stop to give ourselves any kind of compassion or joy or completion or acknowledgement. We simply set the bar higher for ourselves. We don't think about celebrating within ourselves when we accomplish something. Oftentimes, when we are sad or something goes wrong or something is going wrong in the moment, we feel like other people need to save us, or other people need to validate how we feel, or other people need to help us. And we don't realize that we have all the tools we need inside of ourselves. So even pep talks, we think that when we're about to engage in something new or different or a little bit frightening, that we need this outside source to validate us or help us be functional in that moment. And that's not true either. All the tools we need lie within ourselves. And there's a few simple things that you can do in all of these realms, no matter what you're facing. If you're facing something scary, something unknown, if you're accomplished something terrific, if you're looking at something new and you're a little worried to try, that all lies within yourself. And you can apply these tools to all of those scenarios, just in slightly different ways. Let's take, for example, something is happening to you in the moment. Maybe you just had an argument with somebody and you walk into another room and you're distressed. Just take a moment. Pause for a moment. Pause life. Pause where you are. Take a few deep breaths, even counting while you take these deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for the count of 4. Let go for the count of 4. And do a couple rounds of this. Just settle yourself. Settle yourself. Settle your heart. Settle yourself and pause. And then try to think about the argument in a more outside of yourself way. Here was an argument I just had. I'm going to take it out of my heart and I'm going to look at it right here. And I'm going to say, what was this argument? This argument made me feel sad. I felt alone. I felt vulnerable. What role do I play in the argument? Am I having to defend myself, or am I the one that's angry at somebody else? How could this argument have been different? How could I change what happened or work on what happened? Whatever it might be, but take it out of your heart. It's no longer in your heart. You're now looking at it as though it is something outside of yourself, this sphere in front of you of everything that happened in the argument. And you're examining it. You're looking at it. You're acknowledging it happened. I just had an argument that maybe I wasn't expecting. I just had to acknowledge. I just had an argument. And define how that made you feel. Did you feel sad, alone, distressed? Did you want to run? Did you want to fight? What did you want to do? Acknowledge those emotions that went along with it. Oh, this is fear. I was afraid during this argument. Oh, this was defense. I was defending myself. Name those emotions and feelings that you experienced during that time and acknowledge that. Yes, I felt scared. The feeling I felt was fear. And why? Why did I have that fear? Is it fear that I did something wrong? Is it fear because I realized during this argument that I do need to take responsibility for something? What was that emotion trying to tell me? And define that. Go into an inquiry stage about this experience. And while you're doing all this, hopefully you're someplace sort of quiet where you can really pause, center yourself, take a couple deep breaths, and then look at it. Look at what just happened. You don't necessarily want to do this in the middle of a meeting or something like that. You want to do it someplace where you can take a moment to really pause with it. So you're looking at your emotions. You're going a little bit deeper. Why did I have those emotions? Go into a stage of inquiry about the argument. It's no longer this thing you're feeling inside your heart. It's become this thing you're analyzing. You're looking at it. How could it have been different? What could I have done differently? What are my emotions telling me? Deeper than just, I was really pissed at this person. Why were you pissed at this person? I was pissed at this person because they said something that I feel is true. And I didn't like that because I go out of my way to always be kind and nice to this person. And then they came back to me with something that really cut me to the core. Why is that a problem? Why did that conjure up these emotions for you? Well, there is some truth in that. There's truth in what they said, and I don't like that about myself. I don't like that I'm that way. Why don't you like that you're that way? Because I feel like it is not my true, authentic self. Well, what could you have done differently? I could change that way of being into this way of being. I could do that. Or I could decide I'm doing nothing. Or I could go back and talk to the person more about it. Whatever it may be, but just kind of go deeper with those emotions. Why are you feeling those emotions? Why are they there? What are they trying to tell you about the situation, about yourself, about how you approach things, about how you feel in life, about where your blind spots are, all of those things. You can be inquisitive about it in an outside of yourself sort of way. And then at some point when you've kind of talked through your emotions and the situation, you can move into a space of being kind to yourself, of nurturing yourself. You can say, what about this that I need to be nurturing towards? Well, if you've taken an emotion and you've broken it down and you've realized that there's something bigger there, that maybe there's an emotion that stems from your childhood that's triggering to you, you can give it some kindness. I'm sorry, young me, that this happened to you. You didn't deserve this. This wasn't for you. What lesson can my adult self bring to this now? How can I be a better person? How can I learn from this? How can I move on in a beautiful, kind, compassionate way towards myself? And give yourself that compassion. The same is true if, say, you achieved an accomplishment. Again, stop, pause, feel those emotions inside of yourself. Wow, excitement, you're happy, you've achieved something, you feel great about yourself. Live into those emotions. Wow, I did it. It's so great. Why am I feeling so happy? Because I didn't think I could do this and I did it. I stuck with it. I did it. It happened. I made it happen. Really bring some joy to the fact that you actually accomplished this thing you thought maybe you couldn't accomplish. And then again, nurture yourself in there. Once you've acknowledged the emotions and you've really looked at why you feel excited, because I didn't think I could do this and I did. Wow. This really helps your self-esteem, to kind of just acknowledge these things within yourself that that you did something and you stuck it out and it happened, and be joyous about it and realize those things within yourself that drove you to even have this as a goal or something you wanted to do. And then give yourself some nurturing, good job, self-hug. Wow. This is so great. Let's reward ourselves for this thing well done. And for just a whole host of things like that, you can really, really define your experience with it, your emotions behind it, why you have the emotions that you have, and then give yourself some grace, some nurturing, whether it be high fives or in the mirror, or whether it be, it's okay that this didn't go as planned. It's still fine. You're still alive. It's still moving forward. You can still work on this. It's just part of life. Everyone experiences things, mistakes, or things they did wrong, or arguments. You're not alone. You're part of the human population where all these things happen to everyone. And just really live into the experience, whatever it is. So just to recap, pause, take a pause, do some breathing to center yourself. And when you feel centered, take the experience out of your heart and look at it. Look at it as this three-dimensional thing in front of you. What are the emotions you have associated with what just happened? Why do you have those emotions? Be inquisitive about the whole thing. Self-reflect on it. Is it a great thing to self-reflect on? You shouldn't just be self-reflecting on things that you need to work on because you're not good at it or all those things. No, you should be self-reflecting also on the things that you do that you think are great, that are incredible, that are fantastic, that, wow, I didn't know I could do it. Whatever those things are. You should also be reflecting on the good things. Do some reflection, do some inquiry about it, and then give yourself some nurturing, whatever that will be. Be there for yourself. Show up for yourself. Give yourself what you need to be able to move on in the world without having a negative experience. Shape who you are in a way you don't want to be, and create a way of being that is really hard to get out of down the road. Or you also want to show up for yourself when things are great. You want to show up with yourself when everything works out amazingly. You want to be able to love yourself in all those different ways. But do something you're not happy with, and when you do something you are happy with. Just take a moment to recognize it. Life is so fast-paced and we're moving along so quickly, doing all kinds of things. We're multitasking all the time. But learn to just take this moment for yourself and acknowledge what happened. Where are you in life? What did it do for you? How did it help you in your journey? It's all stepping stones in your journey. And to just really spend some time with those moments rather than just pushing it aside because it's too painful, or you've learned throughout your life that you don't celebrate yourself because that's some weird selfish thing or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying swing one way or the other on this pendulum. I'm saying find the middle ground here, right? So you don't want to become this really conceited person who only thinks of self all the time. You want to just nurture yourself. There's a difference there in nurturing yourself and being kind to yourself and showing up for yourself, and then being all about yourself. Those are really two different things completely. So once you learn to take a pause, and it's hard to take a pause when you're really used to fast-paced life, going. But when you learn to take a pause and breathe it out, and examine your emotions behind it, identify your emotions behind it, examine them, and then love yourself. It'll really change your perspective over time for showing up for yourself. You'll start relying on yourself. When something's happening, you'll start relying on yourself. Oh, if I did this great thing at work and no one notices, I notice, it's great. I'm going to go get a latte to celebrate, or whatever it might be, whatever you decide to do for yourself in those moments. You'll start appreciating yourself showing up for yourself. You'll be really, really surprised. So try it out. Try it out. It's super easy. Take a pause. Take some deep breaths to center yourself. Look at the emotions associated with what just happened. Explore those emotions. Why do you feel them? And then nurture yourself and end with something like, you are okay exactly how you are. Because you know what? You are. You are perfect exactly how you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're enough. So take care, my friends. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.